Are there any questions before we start?
I have one. Will you quickly explain what the shot does to the body? Like the spike proteins, the shedding,
The shot, the vaccine?
you can't call it a vaccine.
The jab.
Oh,
Well,
you can't call it
They
vaccine.
are, but
I know.
it's not.
Call it the jab.
The jab.
Okay.
No,
It kills the body.
just so,
It's a GMO.
so that you know, there are more than 100 different brands worldwide. They all do different things. They all do different things. The effect that they have on the body is, according to the CDC, which I think is silly, they claim that it teaches the lymphatic system how to fight that virus. And that's, you don't teach the body how to do things. The body knows how to do things, and we're going to talk about that in detail today. The thing you need to know about the job, regardless of what kind you get, and you can include, if we were to have a discussion about vaccination in general, the 16 that they give babies, all the way up to the ones they're doing now, the principle is the same. The body will take whatever it gets, will respond the best they can at whatever level of health it's at. If the level, think of the bucket. If the bucket is 25% full and you get a job, you could die. And that's what happens. More than 80% of all deaths from the jab in the United States is for people who are over 65. They're already, the bucket is already very low. It made a bigger hole than they could deal with, and that took them out. If your body is up here at 75% or more full, yeah, I have a few holes, then you can tolerate whatever jab you get, whether it be a tetanus, whatever it is. So exactly what it does to the body, honestly, everybody's different. Nobody knows.
So the shedding, so a vaccinated person can actually cause an unvaccinated person to have problems?
A vaccinated person can pass on COVID, according to the CDC. Just because you've been vaccinated does not prevent you from getting it or transferring it. Keep in mind, I've said this over and over, the COVID is just another virus. There's nothing unique, there's nothing special, other than it's been marketed worldwide for who knows the real reason. Probably a few. Okay? Did that help you?
Now, I have a friend that his son got vaccinated and came over to his house. He's unvaccinated.
Doesn't matter.
And within a day or two, he had bruising on his legs. And then
Who, the one
the unvaccinated.
who didn't have, it probably had nothing to do with it.
Well, and then it happened again. His son got vaccinated again, didn't tell him, came over, and within a couple of days, it was from his waist down.
Okay, so I would say that the person who is not vaccinated probably has a very compromised immune system, down here lower than 25%. He's susceptible to any kind of contamination that comes. He could be allergic to peanuts. It could be, that's what it is. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
We have one spot here, if you want to squeeze,
Going up.
you don't mind sitting by, guy.
Yeah.
What is your take on using saline rinses?
How much?
Your take on using saline rinses
For what?
if your sinuses are messed up?
Okay. Saline rinses for anything, especially the sinus. The sinuses are very, very thin, delicate tissue. If you happen to do a saline rinse for the sinus, make sure the solution is very diluted. That's the number one. Number two, why do they salt? Salt, and that's one of our topics today, is salt. Salt will cause a lot of microorganisms to rupture and kill them. That's why you use salt.
So the salt they give or our salt?
But
The salt that they have in the packages or the real salt?
the real salt is more dilute.
But it also has baking soda in it.
The real salt?
No, your salt, the
Oh.
neti pot type salt.
I wouldn't do that. Sometimes, along that same line, many times when people get constipated and the blood gets thicker and more toxic, they have sinus problems. Sinus problems, in my mind, is always an indication of a couple of things. One, the cranium is probably distorted. The bones are not moving properly when you breathe. Number two, the blood is more toxic, more thick. And the sinus tissue is very delicate, so I would not do salt to wipe it out, to clean it out. If you want to clean it out, just use water. Plain old water. Remember, the solution to pollution is what? Dilution. And God uses water worldwide to dilute toxins. Water is the number one cleanser of the world. Very, very valuable. That's why it's important that we keep the water clean. Clean water does better.
Okay, I have a question about water. We have well water, which is high in minerals. They're the wrong kind of minerals.
They're
So
what?
our well water,
It's
so,
high in minerals.
yeah, but it's the wrong kind of minerals, like, I
What?
guess they said.
Who said that?
The water softener guy. So anyway, these, like distilled water, purified water, any kind of water, just water,
For your sinuses?
for your sinuses.
Distilled.
Distilled is best, okay.
Let me talk about water right now. That's one of our topics today, water. Water is a key element on the earth. Without water, and if you watch the BBC, you know, about the world, the great things about the world. Whenever there's a water deficiency anywhere in the world, problems get worse. There's less life where there's less water. There's more life where there's more water. That includes inside your body. Your body needs water. The general formula for water is take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 2. The number is ounces. That's approximately the number of ounces of water you should consume daily. That's a rule of the thumb. That's not concrete. It varies, especially this time of year. We bought a fresh watermelon. When we eat a watermelon, we need less water. If we had a lot of meat, we would need any kind of meat, we would need more than that amount. If you had meat and bread, those are the two big ones that cause you to need more water. I want you to think of water molecules as small, empty dump trucks. distilled water, the dump trucks are clear empty. If you get well water from north of Idaho Falls, then you will have some alkaline minerals in the water. Alkaline minerals in the water are good for you
Oh, good.
because they raise the pH up above 6.5, maybe even above 7.2, about blood pH level. In Colorado Springs, I had people who had well water in the south end of town that was acid. They all came in with arthritic symptoms because of too much acid in the water.
If we add salt to our already alkaline water, does that up the alkalinity?
Probably some. That's one advantage we have in living in our area is we have very good water comparative to other parts of the country. We have good alkaline water. Again, look, think of the distilled water as a totally empty dump truck. It goes into the body then takes the water and uses it for metabolic processes, a lot of them. If we go down to the cell level, I'm going to paint you a little bigger picture. At the cell level, blood supplies the cell with nutrients. So think of the red blood cell as a dump truck carrying nutrients to the cell. Each cell operates mostly independently. In other words, it has this normal function, and then it throws out the garbage into the interstitial fluid. That's the water around the cell, interstitial fluid. The small toxic particles, waste products, that are thrown out into the interstitial fluid are reabsorbed into the venous system. Remember, the venous system is not pumped or pushed by the heart. It's moved along by smooth muscle that wraps around the veins and kind of milks the blood back up to the heart, where it then goes from the heart, it's pumped into the lungs so that it can dump the poison out. The larger, back down to the capillary, the larger toxic waste that are thrown into the interstitial fluid, or they can't get into the veins, or sucked up, think of a vacuum hose, they're sucked up because they're bigger. Now they're into what's called the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is a primary detoxifier. It's always working. It doesn't get much attention because you can't see it. The lymphatic fluid comes from interstitial fluid that's sucked in. It's clear. If you cut you lose lymph fluid and you lose blood. Guess who gets the attention? The blood. Now, we suck up the toxin from the interstitial fluid, and it travels very slowly upward. All lymphatic fluid flows toward this part of the body, where it's dumped into the subclavian vein that then goes into the lungs. Along the lines of those tubes are small, very, very small lymph nodes. Now, when you think of lymph nodes, you probably think of the big ones in the groin and the arms, maybe in the neck. There are more than 600 lymph nodes in the body. The majority of them are very small. And they're all doing the same kind of thing. They're breaking down toxins to make them small so that when they go back into system, they can not plug things up. If you have a lymph node, like one that we talked about for you, that may be enlarged for any reason, keep in mind, lymph nodes enlarge only when they are called upon to have extra duty. Now, the people that have had the job, they get it, wherever they get it, they get swollen lymph nodes. They have pain, they have stiffness because it's a toxin in that area of the body. And it sometimes takes many days, depending on a couple of things. Number one, it depends on how hydrated they are. If they're low on water, it takes longer for them to clear that out. If they don't move, if they just lay in bed and if they got the job, it may take a week or 2 or 3 for your body to clean that up. That's why we can't say one thing always happens. It depends a lot on what it went into. Now, this may surprise you. Your body has more lymph fluid than blood. But exactly the opposite is true. Lymph flows slowly, very slowly. If we put a gauge up here where all the lymph dumps back into the blood, you would probably have 4 to 5 liters of lymphatic drainage per day. On the other hand, blood, which provides nutrients to the tissue, if we put a monitor on the heart, it has the same volume, 4 to 5 liters per minute. If you're good at math, anybody good at math? You can figure out the ratio. I haven't done it. So lymph moves very slowly. If you have a swollen lymph node anywhere, treat it like you treat a blonde, a skinny blonde. Very gentle.
It's 1,250 to 1.
1,250 to 1. That's good, thank you.
I got 1440.
Well, I was doing a
Give or
quick-
take.
I was rounding.
It's a lot to a little.
Yeah,
So it has more blood than lymph, or did I get that backwards? Cause you
Yeah,
said, I thought you
backwards.
said more lymph than blood, but I'm not sure.
That's right.
What?
more lymph than blood.
More lymph than blood, that's what I
But
thought.
lymph travels
Slow.
very slow. Blood travels very fast. Within 1 minute, a red blood cell can make 3 trips down to the foot and back up.
So I know there are a few ways to speed up lymph flow. Is there any reason you would want to do that?
Yes, that's a good point. Let's talk about that. If you got the jab, you want to speed it up and get it out. If you've been exposed to something, you want to speed it up. Anytime you want to increase what's going on, the first thing you do is add heat. Heat speeds up body metabolism as a general rule. The best place to get the heat is not in front of the fireplace, it's in the bathtub. The more of your body you can get underwater, and you get the temperature above your temperature, which is you want to get the water up above 104, 5, 6, maybe 7. If you're a tough guy or girl, you can get it up to 8 or 9. We used to have our hot tub at about 108, and when most people get in the hot tub, they think it's going to burn them because it feels really hot. But you get in knowing that you're going to be safe.
High C's 110 usually, 110, 111.
I have a
You
question.
breathe.
If you get in a hot tub and if I stay in one very long, I start getting lightheaded and feel really weak.
Then get out.
I do, but I just wondered, I can't stay in it very long.
Well, that's fine. You use your body. Your body will tell you
Right.
as a guide. I recommend if you're sweating on the eyelid, or you get lightheaded, you don't get out, what do you much good to stay there longer. So back to the empty dump truck. Sometimes people say to me, well, I don't drink water, I like to drink Pepsi, or I drink a lot of tea. Well, what they've done then is loaded up the molecule, the dump truck, with toxin, toxin in. Now, part of our discussion today is about salt. And when we use the word salt, we put an S on both ends. Because most doctors, and I agree, will say, don't use too much salt. When they make that statement, it's a broad, general statement in opposition to table salt, which is sold by Leslie and Morton. Mr. Morton made billions of dollars selling a very low cost, almost free product, and he didn't care about health. He was a marketer and a financier, period. And some of you remember his phrase, when it rains it,
Horse.
that's how long, you haven't heard that for probably 50 years. Martin made that famous, it made him billions. So, in opposition to that, salts refers to salt that came from the original oceans with an S that were upon the world and dried up. You can buy Himalayan, which is similar to the salt that comes out of Utah, real salt brand. God puts salt mines, deposits on every continent. Why? Because every person on the earth has better health if they have an abundant supply of salts. You can take salts and water and make the body. I have a daughter named Deborah who used to work for a funeral business. And she told me they have more and more people who are being cremated because of the cost of the funerals and the cost of the land. What did they give you when it's all said and done? Salt. Okay, so let's now talk about the lymphatic system again, more about the lymph system. And the reason we're talking about the lymph system is because it's so important. Remember, the red blood cells help feed the body. The lymphatic system helps clean. The lymph cells are created downstream from what kind of cells? What do all cells start as? Stem cells. Where are they made?
Big bones.
In the bones. Now, stem cells are made in the bones and can become whatever kind of cell is needed. Some of you are taking Magnus stem to help, thank you very much, to help stimulate healthier and more stem cells that are then used wherever they're needed in the body at the time. Not according to you, what you want. It won't fix your knee if you need your kidney repaired, your stomach. Most of you have multiple needs. They will actually go into multiple areas. But for our discussion today, they become white blood cells, and then they differentiate. That means they specialize. They specialize and do different things. For example, some of them become monocytes, Monocytes are like, they go around in the lymph system and the bloodstream looking for terrorists, like a virus or a fungus, and they kill them. You have eosinophils, monocytes. I'm going to pass this picture around, and when you were all done, this would be happy if it had a cover.
Perfect.
Okay, so these are actual pictures that were taken from a live blood analysis. So we take a drop of blood, put it under a microscope. You can see it on the screen. You see the specialized cells that do different things. They're looking for problems in the lymph and in the blood. When they find a problem, they attack it. Some of them shred it up, some of them eat it up like Pac-Man, they destroy it. That's what they do. They all look different. Now, on a blood test, when you get a blood test and you look at the white blood count, they're divided up into different types of specialized, differentiated cells. So you understand what they do. By the way, this is all automatic. It's all a gift to you from God to help protect you from invasion. Think of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, State Patrol. That's what they are in the blood. They all do different things. So if you were the general, right under the president, you're in charge of the whole military. We have a Joint Chiefs of Staff, we have a big meeting, and you look over at the big guy in the Air Force and you say, how's the Air Force doing? He nods his head and says, well, according to our numbers, that's a low and high range, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? The low range and the high range. We're right in that area, so you can say, we're good. If we get invaded, we can take care of whatever happens. You then ask the head Navy lady, and she says, oh, we're loaded up, man. We got ships and we got sailors, we're all ready. And you go around the room and you ask them, that's what the normal ranges are. Now, when you get your blood test, one of them is high, you go, oh my gosh, I have too many monocytes. And the doctor says, you have a problem. You need a medication to help you. That's high. Well, what's
Say
really,
they test for white blood cells
Pardon?
and decide you've got an infection somewhere.
well, if they're high, that means you're attacked. And the Navy says, we've been attacked. We need more help from you other guys. So the others get in. So I get back to our discussion today. What do you do if you have numbers that are out of the normal range? You do whatever you can to help them. What are some of the basic things you can do to help the white blood cells fight off invaders? Simple things. Make a list.
Drink more water.
Drink more water.
Have hot bath.
Rest. Take a hot bath, elevate the temperature. What about the small intestine? The flora. The flora is very important for the whole, all of the immune system. You increase the friend of flora in the gut. You get more rest. You help the body do what it's trying to do. You don't fight the problem that's up a little bit. You help it. Now y'all got the picture of the joint. It's common for people to have arthritic types of complaints. You have a swollen joint. It could be a foot, area of the foot, ankle, knee, hip, spine, shoulder, grinds, stiff, swollen, elbow, fingers, odd, and the doctor says, oh, you've got arthritis. Your blood count is up just a little bit, but you need to take this drug to help you get over arthritis. What do you really have? You have dehydration. When you're dehydrated, that's what's on the left side of the picture. If you look very closely, there's a line drawn through the center of the joint. See the diagonal line? On one side is dehydration, on the other side is adequately hydrated. So a dehydrated joint will have cartilage degeneration. The doctor may have even been to a marketing seminar, and in the marketing seminar, he learned this phrase. You get a serious look on your face, look the patient in the eye and say, you've got bone on bone. We need to replace it. You have a bad joint. And you say, can it be replaced? And he said, we'll say, yes, we can do that Monday in the hospital. And you asked me, and I said, well, if you're in a hurry, go get it done. If you're not in a big hurry, let the body fix it. How are we gonna fix it? We're gonna hydrate it, we're gonna mobilize it, we're gonna nourish it. If we can, we're gonna stimulate stem cells. We're gonna do repetitive micro therapy. When? 3 times a week for 3 months. Every day, morning and night. How long does it take?
3 months.
5 minutes. Now, if you want to be real generous, and you do what I tell you to do, you can consider when you give yourself an adjustment, when you do the sacroslide and microcoronal mobilization, etc., you've given yourself an adjustment. You saved a lot of money, like $50. If you'd like to, you can give me 5 every time you do it.
Cool.
Why not?
What a deal.
And I'll share it with you. So, where does this really fit into the big picture? The things we've talked about. Here's the big picture. On this side, we have prevention. The bucket's mostly full. We don't want it to get low. If it gets too low, now we're on this side, we have real deteriorated tissue. Things are breaking down. They're getting bad. What we're talking about today is prevention. Oh, does that mean it can't help correct what you already have? No, it means you can. You do the same thing. You do the same thing, but you do it with more focus, more intention. Does that make sense? I had a fellow yesterday, he's 82, his head's way forward. His head probably weighs 50 pounds. He has brain fog, his members going, like he's on his way down because his posture is bad. I checked the whole body, and the bottom line is the most important thing he could do is regain neutral balanced posture so that his body can use the energy to fix his heart, to fix his brain, rather than waste it on muscles. He's over here. If we can get a balance, he'll move back over here and reestablish some brain function, reestablish balance and that sort of thing.
Dr. Smith,
Yes.
I remember you told me when I was really feeling like I wanted to get better real fast because I was really sick and I was sick and tired. And you said you can't hurry healing. And that really resonated with me after I thought about it. Because I wanted to take something that would just take all the pain away. And to get better, I had to just do the regular things.
And that's a very common desire. A very common desire is I want to get it fixed now. And I said to a number of patients, I know your knee hurts you a lot. Yeah, you have a bad problem in your hip. If you want to go get a new one, go ahead. But we have not corrected the cause of the problem. So if you do, we still have to do the same thing. But you've got that to deal with. Now, I got that idea about forcing recovery. You cannot force recovery, right? That's what it said. I got that out of the good book. God will force no man to heaven. If you come by invitation and by your own decision. And you have to do a lot of things to get there. And the bad news is, when we get there, there'll be people who didn't make it that we thought were coming.
So you operate by the body's natural laws.
Divine
Because
design.
everything's by law.
By law, thank you for saying that. The body is governed by law. If you, to quote Elder Holland, many times you pay for your sins with it, by the sin. Is there one left for me? A test, did all of you get a test? Okay, let's go through this quickly. I will make a few comments as we do. You have a volunteer to read.
Sure. Okay, go ahead.
Nate, there is more lymph fluid than blood.
True.
True.
Two,
We have 3 different regions of lymph tissue: gut, extremities, central nervous system.
true, let me explain. You have the tubes coming out of your leg, which bypasses the gut, goes up and up. Same out of the arm, that's the extremity. Out of the head, that's number 2. The gut, the lymphatic system in the gut is the third one. I had a friend I talked to 2 weeks ago. He went in for a colonoscopy early this year, and they found a minor problem. And the surgeon said, "We should fix that." He said, "Okay, if you think so." So they went in and took some things out. When they got all said and done, he asked the surgeon, "How much of my bowel did you take out?" He said, 10 inches. And Brent said, 10 inches, why? Because of the lymphatic system. So sometimes they take things away because of the way it drains. The gut drains slow and different than the arms or legs. That's a true statement.
Where blood is the main source of nourishment to tissue, the lymph systems are primarily designed to clean and protect.
True.
True. And when it says protect, that's the Army, Navy, that's all these different cells. Clean as a vacuum, and the lymph nodes.
The diaphragm and muscle motion are the main pump that move lymphatic fluid.
True.
Blood cells move through the body extremely fast, but the lymph fluid moves very, very slow.
True.
I have a question, Beth, on the diaphragm,
Yeah.
number 4. So if you're trying to speed up your lymphatic system, then breathing is one of those
True.
that can help speed it up,
True.
get the toxins out.
How much can you speed it out?
Not much.
Think, yeah, not much. Think of your gas bill being really sticky and has a block. You can only speed it up a little tiny bit, but you can.
The lymph nodes that swell are more active currently in destroying bad stuff.
True. So when they're swollen, wherever they are, again, be kind to them. Be kind to them. And only if you put pressure on them, very gentle, and always move toward up here, right in here.
Water deficiency causes a major threat to proper lymphatic tissue function.
True. Now, a lot of people come here with excessive weight. A lot of them think it's fat, and that it's not fat as much as they think it is. It's congested lymph fluid. I call it the swamp. You have a swamp. You're carrying around the swamp water. How do you turn a swamp into a lake?
Drainage and
Drain it.
add more water,
Oh,
get it flowing through. If it, in the mountains, you find a swamp, it needs a drain, and it needs more water going in.
The cells of the lymph are mostly lymphocytes,
Lymphocytes.
lymphocytes, which are subtype
Subtypes.
of a white blood cell.
True. So we have a white blood cell that's differentiated and becomes specialized to do special things according to the need at the time. We sing a song at church. I'll go where you want me to go. That's the stem cell song, so you can mark it off. Okay?
Three major types of lymphocytes are T cells from bone marrow, B cells, secreted antibodies, and NK, natural killer cells that adapt to the need, can kill virus and cancer.
They're true. They're flooding around. They're flooding around looking for trouble. Whether you know it or not, they're there.
The National
All of
Guard.
them. Pardon?
The National Guard.
Yeah, they're all there, and they're amongst us. And if there's problems, boom, they get on top of. You know, you never see a cop until there's an accident, right? So somebody blows up a building, and then.
Or you want a donut.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep. Okay.
Lymph fluid is dumped back into the blood circulation at the thoracic duct.
True.
Mild, regular physical activity plus adequate hydration is necessary for a healthy lymphatic system.
True. Any questions on what we talked about today? We have a couple minutes. How about some more?
Hey, I've been participating.
I don't.
I have a question.
You've done good, yes.
So my sister is always searching for weight loss. And she started
For what?
for weight loss, ways to lose weight. And she's been to your classes and has your book, so she has what she needs, but now she's going vegan. Not vegetarian, but vegan. And she's really excited because it's caused a lot of diarrhea and she thinks that it's cleaning her out.
It is,
Okay, that was my question.
and it will be a good thing for a short period of time.
Okay.
Let me draw a quick picture. Somebody have a pen I can borrow?
Pictures.
So, we draw a plus sign. Good metabolizer, poor metabolizer, carnivore, or herbivore. There are 4 different groups. You all fit somewhere on that graph. If you were born an herbivore because of your parentage, then you probably lean toward the herbivore side. If you're constantly overeating food, or you have a misalignment in your spine in this area, you become a poor metabolizer. Poor metabolism need more food that's cooked, shredded, chopped, ground, because it's easier to digest and assimilate. Okay? If you're carnivore by heritage, you need more meat. Most people here are a combination, probably near in the center. We're a mixture of carnivore, herbivore, and we're somewhere between not really good metabolisms, but pretty good metabolisms. Most of you are probably not down at the very bottom, you're not really poor, so most of us in here are working in the middle 50%. And all we can do is go up or down slightly. Sorry. That's the goal. And if you, so relative to diet and the vegan diet, that's good to clean. It's not good to live on. because what I just said. If you have a compromised gut for any reason, you can't lose weight. Subtract quantity and add salt, get more rest,
And drink more water.
and drink more water in the appropriate quantities. Good, thank you very much for your participation.